I hope you're well.
Good. I got great.
Well, he's joined us for us to continue that conversation we started earlier this week on this matter of the cocaine bust in Belgium that is being investigated. But we know there's a narcotic investigation, the Narcotics Control Commission now, and then we also know there's an investigation being done by the Ghana airports. So those are the two investigations we know about. We don't know about any other investigations that's currently ongoing. Mr. Archer, I'm sure you've monitored what all this is about. So far, you're impressed with the way the Ghanaian authorities have handled it, because there are questions being asked about how the person even went through our airports to get to Belgium in the first place.
So you said that there's investigation by Ghana Airport.
Yes, Ghana Airports Company.
Airport is investigating itself. Is that what's supposed to be happening?
They've set up a committee to do that.
Yeah. To investigate itself.
Yes.
Anyway, so first of all, I think it's important to put things in perspective. The case is that Ghana actually was not the one that noticed that cocaine has been shipped from our airport, and that it appeared that our airport was a frequent place where barons were shipping cocaine out. This apparently happened because the Belgian authorities became worried after they arrested this lady and alerted the government about the incident. So, first of all, Ghana was not the one that detected it. If you look at the architecture they have at the airport, they have Narcotic Control Board, they have the Bureau, now they call it the National Intelligence Bureau, they have National Security, all at the port. And so you wonder what they have to say. I am not too worried, I'm not too interested in the Ghana Airport Company's investigation, because you do not get anywhere. I don't think this level of operation can happen without very senior people knowing about it. It's not possible. And so therefore, I'm not too enthused about the Ghana Airport Company investigating itself.
That it will not get anywhere?
They will not get anywhere. Listen, the agency that allowed this situation to prevail is the same agency that is investigating itself. That's one of those jokes that I don't understand this government about. Narcotic Control Board. I know that some of their agents have been fingered in this investigation. So any serious government will realize that this is a very big problem, where the agencies that are responsible for security at the airport appear to be the conduit for narcotic trafficking. Therefore, you want a much higher, more independent agency to begin to look into this. And this one, I think, should have been the presidency taking a decisive decision to set up a national committee, not just NACOB or NIB or Ghana Airport Company. It has to be a more holistic committee to look into this, because at the end of the day, the people that are going to be investigating themselves will not indict themselves. It's just common sense. So if you look at what is going on, like what happened, you remember what happened with MV Benjamin. Same, they will do. Cocaine was monitored by the British from Guyana all the way to our waters. And as soon as they handed over the information to the government people, everything messed up. The same thing happened to Martin's investigation. The U.S. government did a lot of investigation. The president at the time authorized an investigation by NACOP. When the investigation was getting closer to senior government officials, they immediately terminated the investigation by dismissing the people who were conducting the investigation. So if you look at what is going on, it's like the government doesn't really care, because anybody who understands intelligence will come to a very simple conclusion that there are government people who are complicit in this. And let me explain to you why. A couple of, I think about a month or two before this lady's cocaine issue happened, there were reports that some 2 aircraft left I think the island of St. Vincent and ended up on at our airport. Okay, 2 aircraft, and the allegation was that they might have carried cocaine. They rented the aircraft, turned off the transponders, and while they were looking, and then I think transited to Mexico. While the government were looking at it, the aircraft ended up in Ghana. Nobody said a word. The speculation, and very credible speculation, was that the aircraft carried cocaine. Government didn't say anything. They didn't have a press conference. They didn't tell the nation anything. If there was that much cocaine in that aircraft, naturally one will suspect that very soon cocaine will leave our shores, because Ghana is really not a consumption point. Ghana is always more or less a transshipment point. So if cocaine arrived 2 months before that, all the agencies would have come to the conclusion that it will not be long. Someone will try to move that cocaine to Europe. Okay, that's what really happened. So it was not surprising that a month or two after aircraft from Mexico and St. Vincent arrived and landed at our airport without permission, cocaine started leaving our airport to Europe. And that has always been the route. Cocaine leaves South America, comes directly through open waters to Africa, Ghana, and then it transits from Ghana to Europe, because it's more difficult for South American barrels to not enter Europe directly. So therefore, they like to go in international waters to Ghana and then transit to Europe. So it was natural that once those aircraft began landing here with cocaine, it will not be long, cocaine was going to leave our shores for Europe. So I wasn't surprised. But what I'm surprised about is the way they're dealing with this investigation, as if this is a matter of airport company. They have nothing to do with airport company. We have agencies that are responsible for investigating these kinds of issues. And when you realize that the security at the airport is compromised, you now have to bring in independent bodies to look into it. Mind you, Senna, the airport that we are toying with, if you know how airports are run, these things happen. These issues have effect on how your airport rank around the world works. So if you have a situation where somebody who's supposed to man the scan will leave for somebody with narcotics to pass through, all the international agencies will take note of that. All the government and destination flights from Ghana will take note of that. Because of the issues of terrorism now, airport security is almost like an international standard. So if you allow someone to carry cocaine, chances are you allow them to carry explosives or carry other deadly chemicals into other jurisdictions. So this it does not just have implications on the airport, it has implications on travel and destinations from Ghana. So it is shocking to me that they are playing with this as if this is some corporate small event security breach that Ghana Airport Company has to handle. Ghana Airport Company has no capability in investigating organized crime. Okay? So what are the state agencies doing? Why is the government not telling the nation what exactly has gone on and what they are doing about it? I heard some funny story about some people interdicted with 2/3 of their salary. Okay, you treat an investigation like this, and you wonder whether you are pampering the suspect or you are sending a strong signal. I don't get it. I don't see how Ghana Airport Company can investigate itself. They are responsible. Look, the civil aviation, there is all the agencies there, and still this happened. So therefore, commonsensically, one would have thought that there would have been an outside commitment to investigate these issues.
Well,
you understand?
In fact, the team they've put together are not people from a Ghana Airports company. They are people who are external that are doing these investigations. Should that not suffice? The fact that they themselves are not actively involved in the investigation, that they've gone to seek outside help to do that.
And that is supposed to be coordinated by who?
Ghana Airports.
Let me explain this to you. Okay, so something is missing in your house. Okay, you're the landlord. At all material times, you control all the access and exits of the house. Something gets missing. Okay, I have my security man in the house. Yet, with your access and control, still something got missing. If all of us were in the house when that thing was missing, and we don't know who took it, are we the same people to be the ones to coordinate the investigation as to how something got missing in the house? Okay. I think that they should take that investigation completely out of the domain of all the agencies that are there. Like I told you, NID is there. National Security is there. Civil Aviation is there. And Ghana Airport Company is there. And with all these people present, still cocaine managed to pass the airport. And according to what I've seen from some of their CCTV footages, the lady in charge of the scan left to the washroom for this lady to pass. Okay, this cannot be one person's orchestration. So this is more, and when you're talking about cocaine, you're talking about organized crime. It goes all the way to all the agencies. So I think it's important that this thing is taken seriously because it has far-reaching implications on our airport grading and travel from Ghana. So I don't understand. First of all, somebody must tell us how the cocaine got into Ghana. And you see, it's as if they are investigating the case of how the lady left Ghana. That is why you are still focused on the airport. First of all, cocaine came to Ghana. Okay? How did that cocaine get into our territory is the first thing you have to establish. Second, apparently this lady has been coming in and going out. What is the trend of her visit? Who has she been visiting? What are her contacts while she's here? And then the last point is, how did the cocaine leave our shores? and what can we do to prevent that from happening? Then all those who are complicit are then arrested and arraigned before a court. So you look at this whole, how can any of those, you see, Narcotic Control Board must have intelligence of how, or National Security or NIB must have intelligence on how the cocaine got into our territory in the first place. Because that is how you are going to unravel how it left. It looks to me the focus is on who is responsible. They are going to find some small level guy at the airport who allowed the lady to go, and in the hope that will settle the matter. That's not it. When Amoate's case happened, there was a concurrent investigation on how the cocaine entered Ghana and how did Amoate and his group manage to move the cocaine out of Ghana. There was the other investigation of how did the proceeds of crime come back to Ghana. Okay, so that is how big this investigation is supposed to be. But I don't even recognize that the government is making an attempt to brief the nation and get everybody to understand what exactly is happening. Typical of Ghana, this is going to be going on, up and down controversy, and then it will die off. And we are never successful at prosecuting any successful drug issue. By the time you realize the exhibit is missing, by the time you realize, look, Amoate's assets, after Amoate's case happened, Amoate's assets were identified by the state. Why was the assets not confiscated according to the law? The man has served his term. He's come back quietly. He's probably enjoying the booty of his drug business. Okay? This is going to happen, and they're going to go round like they are playing, and then the nation's mind will get off it, and then they move on. That's what's going to happen, I'm afraid.
I see. But because this involves even the Belgium authorities, and there will be many other nations that will be watching us, like you said, airports are graded. What signals are we sending to the rest of the world with the handling of the investigation thus far?
Look, Senator, if you know the rules, especially the laws on terrorism now, and how other countries treat you when you are not compliant with airport security, you will not be playing with this. At the end, it is Ghanaian travelers who will face the route of the Western countries when these things happen. Because when you get to any European airport from Ghana, they're going to search your bag, they're going to delay you, they're going to look into you, they're going to be asking you all manner of questions. Look, there are some destinations now who it takes forever to be able to export a container to the United States from those destinations because they are not compliant at the airport. So there is what they call the CPAC now. It's a counterterrorism arrangement from the U.S. Customs. If you have a destination where you are not sure the security is loose, to export from that destination to the United States is not a joke. Somebody from Ghana would have done 3, 4, 5 times shipment, and then you are still going through procedures to export one container. Okay? And so when you begin to have these things happen at your airport, it will not just happen, when they take the decision, it will not just affect the airport. It will affect all destinations where products and people leave to Europe and to America and to other countries. So your exports are going to go through more scrutiny. You're going to suffer delays because of all of these situations. Your citizens are going to be subjected to all manner of delays and search and questioning at various international airports because they think that your airport procedures are loose. you're going to be held to a more stringent requirement than other countries that doesn't suffer these things. That's why when these things happen, it's important for the government to quickly deal with it with credibility in the hope that it can assure the rest of the world that the airport is safe for people to leave that airport to their destination. That is the larger implication of what is going on. And also you have to realize, Senna, when narcotics come to Ghana, as much as 30% remains here for the local market. So the more you allow drugs to come in, the more drugs will be available for the population to consume, and the more you're going to begin to have a surge in the use of narcotics among the population, especially the youth. So this is a serious business. Okay, it's a serious national security issue, and I don't see that it is getting that national security attention, and that is why I'm worried that this is going to be one of those things that will go round, and come back, and nothing is found, and everybody goes on. You know, because when somebody is interdicted for a serious offense like this, if you don't have basis, then don't interdict the person. If you have basis to interdict the person, and you say that you're going to get 2/3 of your salary, then what's the point? What are you doing? Somebody says, oh, he's not guilty. If he's not guilty, then don't interdict him. But if you find reason to interdict that person, and later you find out that, look, this person, this particular one is innocent, you pay him his full salary. Okay? But if you don't have basis to interdict the person, because the argument is that, well, he's not guilty. If he's not guilty, then don't interdict him. If you don't have any reasonable cause to suspect that this person is connected to what I'm investigating, because the case is not in court now, I cannot do more. I can only remove him from the scene in the hope that he does not compromise the investigation. Therefore, you go home. But you have good basis to know that this person is either going to be a suspect or is going to be a witness. Okay? So when you start sending those kinds of signals, it's as if they don't have enough. They just firefighting. And eventually it will come to like this is near the park case where everything will go around, merry-go-round, and it will end up in that manner. And you know, when they travel with diplomatic passport, service passport. They will not go through these kinds of harassment at the various international airports in Europe and the Americas. They won't go through that hassle. It is the ordinary person that will still pay the price. And that's why I worry that everybody is looking at this as one of those cases. The two cases that happened, the landing of those two aircraft and the fact that the nation has still not been told how that aircraft left the Caribbean. Look at the distance. Left the Caribbean and found its way, not in any airport, but Ghana airport. Okay? And what was in that plane? What happened? The aircraft even landed without authorization. Can you imagine the security implications of trying to enter a national airspace and then it's even managed to land? How does a plane that has no authorization enter our airspace? They don't scramble the aircraft and the aircraft manages to land and we still don't hear anything about it. Meanwhile, the aircraft was stolen from the Caribbean, entered Mexico, and found its way onto our airport without a lander, without authorization. And we're still quiet as the people we are looking on. One day, an aircraft will leave and come to the country and bomb all of us, and no one will wake up again. That is the bigger implication of what we're seeing now. Somebody lands an aircraft from the Caribbean with cocaine inside. Nothing is heard. No one breached anyone. A month later, cocaine starts leaving the shore. Then they start wishy-washy. And by the time you started hearing some of the suspects, right? They are all political actors. So that is why you want to make sure that this thing is properly done. Because when these things happen and the Western countries, your partners begin to realize that there's a political link into the narcotic business in Ghana, my goodness, we're finished. Okay? Forget about even the Western countries and our partners. Let's even assume they don't care. We as a nation, don't we deserve to know what exactly is going on with our government and at our airports, especially because of the implications it has on national travel and international travel and the security of the nation? Anyway.
Well, let me conclude then by asking you on a separate issue. You just mentioned in the matter of Cecilia Dapa. Now, Yoko and OSP are trading West publicly. What do you think? Is it a confirmation of your prediction that it's going nowhere? This is the end of the investigation. She's virtually been cleared.
The last time I spoke to you that there's a comedy. There's just a continuum of the comedy. Okay? This country is finished. Trust me, we are finished. Look, you can say what you want to say about Kufuor's government. They were more responsive to the population, the people. They had a lot more respect for the citizens. They would have come to brief the nation about this. You can say all you want about Professor Mills. The government was responsive to the citizens. They saw the citizens as important partners in governance. You can say all you want about former President John Mahama's government. They were responsive. When something happened, they thought that they owed the population an explanation. What we are seeing here with these guys, as soon as you vote for them, it's as if the country belongs to them. You have left everything for them and they own it. Give it to us for 8 years to run it the way we want, and when we are done, we'll give your country back to you. And I don't know whether you have the Attorney General's letter with you, but if my memory serves me right, there was something to the extent that Cecilia Dapa has actually been discharged by the special prosecutor, and that his assets have been given back to her. Yeah. So technically, the case is finished. It's finished. Cecilia Dapa is free. EOCO will not investigate her. OSP is done and has acquitted her. So what are we still talking about? They shouldn't even trade any insult or any accusations. The case is finished. As for the police has a very narrow responsibility given to them by the Attorney General that find out the source. That is all they were given. That is the terms of reference that the Attorney General said he gave the police. Find out the source of the money. The OSP is telling you that we have found out the source. And we know that the source borders on money laundering. Okay? They already have done that. So we are going to wait for the police, and it will be there, and it will be there. Once it's gotten out of the supposedly independent hands, now that it is in their domain and they control the operation, forget it. They can trade, it's all part of the comedy. They are playing us.
I see.
They are playing us. And this is a very sad situation for the country. They are playing us. They are playing the citizens. Can you imagine what that means? They are playing the citizens. You take a case to court. You did your investigations and you did everything. You took the matter to court. And then you withdraw the case and pass it on to an agency under another agency that you know has already a predetermined mindset about the case. And that agency comes to say that forget this matter, you can't work on it. Leave it. Because I've asked somebody to deal with a small aspect of the case. Why didn't the Attorney General say that we have authorized the police to look into this? So for that reason, I asked the police. Therefore, I'm transferring all of this, what the police have also done, back to you, EOCO, so that you can conclude this investigation. No. They know that EOCO is a lot more independent outside the police system, even though it's under the Attorney General. So they're going to leave the case at the police. You know what happens at the police. Okay? How long it will take them to finish this investigation. By that time, the proceeds that have been handed over to the suspect would have been diluted. Okay? And without the proceeds, what are you going to court to say? Look, the exhibit, the most important exhibit is that I have collected $6 million from you. And because of your known income and based on my investigation, I know that this money is laundered. When you give that money back to the suspect, and the suspect now dilutes the exhibit, the evidence. When EOCO finishes the investigation, what exhibit are they taking to the court to show the court that this is what I found? Okay? This is the exhibit. This is the $8 million that I'm talking about. Therefore, I am saying that this money was laundered, and for that reason, this person is guilty. You have given the exhibit back to the suspect. That exhibit by now is diluted. You're going to go and say that the OSP said they found 8 million. Where is the 8 million? You can't produce it. And without that exhibit, there's no case. You see what I'm saying? So for me, this country is a sad story. To be honest, it's a very sad story. And when you look at the level of looting that is going on in this government, I have never seen any government. Look, I covered President Rawlings. I covered President Kofo. I worked as a journalist under President Mills. And then I retired after. I have never seen a government that is so reckless and blatantly corrupt like this one. And when citizens say they go and arrest them, let them come and arrest me that I said this is the most corrupt government in our history. It's terrible. And when things happen like this, you see, they are focused on terrorism as a basis for instability. They are spending millions on see something, say something, whatever, with the mindset that terrorism is the only thing that can destabilize our country. That's not true. When leadership loses the confidence and respect and the integrity that the citizens hold them in, that is more dangerous than any other act of instability. Okay? And you see this going on as if there's no leader in this country.
I see.
People are looting left and right. They have been in the same position for 8 years, almost 8 years, doing the same things, the same people. Look, reshuffle is not there just because people are incompetent. Reshuffle is there to begin to test the waters of what is going on. Okay? When you have a system where they come with a formula and boom, they put it down. And for 8 years, with all that has happened in the agencies and the ministries, they still keep the same squad. It should tell you something. It should tell you something. People are comfortable. The appointees of this government, they are very comfortable because they know that nothing will happen to them. How can somebody wake up a day? They have given you money to pay your service providers. Yeah? And you pay yourself 20 million Monday. Then by Friday, you pay yourself another 20 million. And while your service providers are committing suicide their properties are being seized, and they're crying, they're demonstrating, and they're just paying themselves. And you have a president that is sitting down there watching. Okay? And he will go out there and say that Baumia is the one that will continue my legacy. This legacy, there will be no country after that. Trust me. There will be no country after that. After the vice president, he says that he's more or less a mate. I say he's a puppet of the president. Because the things that they are doing, that is covering up for them and following them up, only God knows. Okay? So you look at this situation, and I worry, to be honest with you. This is not politics or whatever. I genuinely worry. I've seen other systems work. I've seen how in this century other African countries are making a difference. Okay? Go to Rwanda and see. Rwanda, we send soldiers there to go and stop them from killing themselves. Now, we go to Rwanda to learn. The vice president will go to Rwanda and learn things and come and be implementing it wrongly here. Go to Botswana. Okay? Go to Malaysia. Do you know that Malaysia's palm industry started with a visit of the premier of Malaysia to Ghana? And when he learned how to do palm plantations from Ghana. Right now, they are the #1 in the world when it comes to palm export and palm products, cosmetics, oil, everything. Okay, we are still where we are. We left forest. We left forest for the betterment of everybody. National reserve forest. We have dissipated it as a people. At a time when people are talking about climate change, we have government people and their allies just destroy the entire environment for a next generation. Okay? Go and see what is happening. Zimbabwe, of all places. Go and see what is happening in Zimbabwe. Not to say that they are not corrupt, but go and see what is happening in Zimbabwe. Ghana is living on old glory. We had independence first. So what? So what? Where are we in the Committee of Nations now? Where are we? We wake up every day and we are looking at our government misbehaving. You see, Sana, I'll say this to you, and this is a very honest view I have. I may be wrong, but you know what? I feel like the politicians in Ghana get away with everything because of the population, the citizens. And if the citizens don't wake up and hold their government to account, a time will come they will be taken for granted. They will never exist anymore. How do you vote for somebody? Listen, it looks to me that when citizens vote for a certain government, they serve in the government with them. Okay? So you come to me and you ask me for your vote. And I give the vote to you because you made me promises. When you come into office, the first person to hold you to account, shouldn't it be the one who voted for you? The one who voted for you, the one who believed you. As for those who didn't vote for you, they didn't have confidence in you. But the person that believed what you told him and was convinced to vote for you should be the first person to hold you to account. Yeah. But that's the opposite in Ghana. When somebody votes for you, when you are misbehaving, he's behind you. When you are failing, he's behind you. When you are stealing, he's applauding on the sideline and defending you. So what is the motivation for a politician to deliver in Ghana? Zero.
I see.
Until the people who... So you have people who have voted for this government for 8 years. Their pensions have been squashed. Their country has been led to a place where they can't even pay its debt. They are struggling and increasing taxes everywhere. Nothing is working, and they are still defending the government. And their lives are not better because they feel like they have to serve in the government with the government, the people they voted for. That is what we think this country, if we are to get anywhere. When the politician fears that the people who voted for them will not tolerate their incompetence and their corrupt behavior and their unacceptable conditions and the way they put them, they will sit up and they will work harder.
Okay. Mr. Acha, thank you very much for speaking to us.
Thank you very much.
Raymond Acha is an international risk analyst joining us. Lawyer, you first.
You yanko PC for a